Hi guys, today we're going to be doing a Genshin Impact review with my friend Adam. We're going to be reviewing the characters of how good they are if you just get them. If you don't have other teams and just by themselves. Anyway, let's get straight into it. Anyway, let's start with the main character, Traveler, male
A1.
one. A?
F.
F? Really? You think he's that bad?
Well, D tier, because you can always switch between and there are four, and Geo is really good if you know how to use it.
I guess, but here's the thing. I guess, yeah, I agree with you with D tier since it could be better. Okay, yeah, sure, we can put him in D tier. But at the same time, I think he could definitely change depending on the elements he's gonna get next. Because
Yeah,
Pyro is left and Cryo is left. What else? Is that it? Pyro and Cryo?
and what's it called? Oh my god, why
Hydro,
don't I remember
Hydro,
his names?
Hydro.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the three elements. And it could be he gains another element, like the light and dark element, which could change the game. Especially, I forgot the guy's
Yeah.
name that we recently know about. He can use...
Dainsleif?
Yeah, he can use the dark element. And we saw our second brother or sister, depending who you pick, use the light element as well. So there are extra true elements that are technically not...
No, that was actually the. Yeah, yeah. I see.
Yeah, so we don't exactly know about the other true elements, but the three elements that we do know they're gonna be there. We don't know, maybe he
Down
can
to
turn into...
Albedo.
Albedo? Yeah, sure, I guess we can start with Albedo.
Albedo. I'm gonna be honest. He's he's in the middle. Like,
You think?
his abilities are good, but there's still some stuff to him that makes it hard, like, right away to use.
Hmm. But for example, if you got him as your first character when you wished, I think you could
Yeah.
carry you from pretty much everything. You don't really need that much
Well, think
people.
about it. I have a second account, and I got Zhongli after 7 wishes.
True.
He
Zhongli
car-
is...
he car- yeah, he carried me through the whole game, and he does 0 damage.
I guess, but
Almost.
in a way he does
And then I
a
got
lot of
Raiden
damage.
Shogun. Then I
Yeah,
got
but we're gonna
Raiden
talk about
Shogun
Raiden a bit
after 2
later.
wishes.
We're talking about Albedo right now. Let's...
Oh yeah, Albedo.
I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
he
just,
would be
I feel
good, but
like...
like,
Yeah, he could be better.
well,
It's
you also
just...
have to remember his abilities.
Yeah.
One of his abilities are literally an elevator. That when you step on it, you go up,
But it does damage as well
and
when you use it.
it does damage. But if you think about it, that's also good because like fall down, like plunging damage does more damage than normal swing attacks.
Mhm.
You also get the high ground,
Yeah.
which is useful in all forms of combat. But in terms of like, how would I say it? In terms of, oh my god, like if I were to get Albedo right now, I wouldn't use him.
Okay, makes sense. But think about it. If you have a Geo group, I think Albedo is going to be one... Like, in the Geo perspective,
Yeah, Geo, he's one of the best.
yeah, he's definitely not the best, but he's in the top since there's not that much
I
good
never
Geo
think that.
characters.
What do you think, A or B?
I wouldn't even put him into A. He's not that good enough to help, but only specific... Because here's the thing, you have to have a specific team for him even to be useful in a way. I don't know. I would put him in the
So
C to B tier between there. Where would you put him?
I think B,
B? Okay,
because
yeah.
if you look at his ult, it's also really useful because it's like it's almost like he's flicking everyone away.
Yeah, and it's an
He's
AoE
doing
as
like
well.
1 by 1 damage. Yeah.
I guess, yeah, B. We can put him B. Okay, what about
Now
Amber?
Amber is S plus.
S plus?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, that Go-Go Bear Bunny is top tier. It distracts you, and it's just like a better version of Ganyu's. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. F tier. F tier.
You might be surprised about my opinion about Amber, with no joking. I actually
What?
think Amber could be in D tier, not F. I have...
D tier?
Yeah, I'll explain why. Here's the thing. Sure, her abilities are not that strong, but in general, her ability bunny is a unique ability by itself. For example, if you don't have that much legendaries, and you have Amber, you can use her ability to just take the mob's
Or
attention from him, which is one of the
yeah,
abilities, and then it explodes with which does damage. The problem
yeah,
that
but
I
like if you
face
take
with
it in, yeah,
the problem that I face with Amber is just her constellation. It is literally almost impossible to get. You have to wish on the standard banner, and it's not even a guarantee unlike the legendary 5-star banners. Which, as you can tell, was going to be a pain to constellate her to the max, or C6er. But I don't think she's F tier. I'll put in the, I guess, low D. Low D. I don't know. I think that's fair, because her abilities are not only damage-wise, it's also unique. It's like a Ganyu E. She can just take the enemy's attention from her to the bunny.
yeah. But if you think about like the new character, the new Dendro character,
Mm-hmm.
do you know him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does the same thing, but it's also AOE based.
True, but he's a 5-star. You don't get. But here's the thing: Amber, you always have when you start the game. It's like a thing
Ah,
you
yeah,
always
that's
have.
true. It's literally the first character that you meet.
Yeah. I think Amber is good, but
No,
there's one bad thing I think as well. Bow character. I might just be biased in
yeah.
this, but I hate bow characters. I don't know about you though.
Well, it depends. Like some bow characters, I'm fine with, because sometimes you need that range. Because sometimes, like Oceanid,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like you need a bow character
I
for that.
disagree. Oh wait, I guess
And so
the
like
yeah
there are a
for the
lot of
birds, yeah.
for the birds. And so like there are a lot of different times when you need bows, and like I understand the hatred because it takes such a long time to just charge it
Yeah.
and to do this and to do this. And sometimes you might not even hit and the monster will dodge. But if you think about it, with the bow and arrow, you could literally just run away and then snipe them.
Mm-hmm. I guess yeah, I can see
But
that.
yeah,
But
I would honestly say like the one issue I have with Amber is that her alt,
oh yeah,
it
well,
like you just hit such a small AoE, and if you're gonna have that small of an AoE, at least make it move, you know?
yeah, I agree with you on that. Yeah, it actually when I started the game, I tried to use the alt, but I usually get like 25% of the alt's actual capability because they just move away or just get hit away from the
Yeah.
alt.
I remember once I actually tried maining Amber. I put all my best artifacts on her. Let's just say that whenever I used her alt, literally right as the first arrow hit the ground, all the mobs would move away.
Yeah, well, I guess you can see why Amber's not the highest, but I
Now
just
Ayaka,
oh Ayaka, okay, yeah. What's your opinion, on Ayaka?
honestly, like A tier,
A
because
tier. Like,
I I personally don't have Ayaka, but
mm-hmm,
I've played with her, like for the free trial,
mm-hmm.
and I've seen a lot of gameplay with her, and I see like her usefulness. Like she has the Mona freeze thing. No, not
Like
freeze.
the
She has the
walking
Mona
or running.
sprint,
Yeah.
the sprint, and that's actually really useful. And especially since it's ice, because when you're going on water with Mona, once you run out of stamina, you're done. But with her, you freeze the water and you go on top of it.
Oh, I don't actually know about that, but is that
Oh no, like right at the very end of it,
when you stop, you... Okay, that's pretty dope. I didn't even
you
know about
freeze the
that.
water. Yeah.
Well,
So you just like that's a really good benefit. But also, I would say that her alt, I've seen how it does uh,
it's
like
a freeway hit AoE. Not an AoE, like a
yeah,
circle, like a venti one, but it doesn't
it's
suck
a
him in.
drill. It's a drill,
Yeah.
and it just goes straight. And I like that because first of all, it's not just like Amber's where it just goes one place, but it just goes like separate ways. So that's much more useful. But I would say that with her, you need a lot like you need to build like a literal freeze team with her
Hmm. I I
because
guess yeah, that makes sense. Go on.
yeah.
Okay.
But like if you think about it, so like the her brother in the game, right? Ayato.
Yeah.
Like they're a good team because one inflicts like if you look at his ult is like Ganyu's ult but water and it lasts longer and bigger AoE. So for starters,
Wait, could you
when you use
explain the
them,
ult since our viewers don't exactly know the Ganyu ult since we didn't explain it yet?
okay, the Ganyu ult is basically hail in a certain AoE
Mm-hmm.
falling down and inflicting enemies with ice.
Depending the
And
element of a
Ayato,
character, yeah?
yeah, and Ayato is the water version.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever you hit someone, they're inflicted with water. And in Genshin Impact, if somebody is inflicted with the tiniest bit of water, you can freeze them as long as you use ice.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why Ayaka is good with Ayato because he has a constant like rain, and Ayaka has really good like freezing AOE. But
Mm-hmm.
you see, that's where it comes to like you have to have a specific characters
Team.
for her.
Yes, I agree with that. But there's one thing that I would, I guess, counter with what you just said. I agree that you could use her Bravo to help her out, but I wouldn't even use her Bravo to begin with. What I would do is just probably put her with, let me think, Venti or Kazuha. They just clump everything together, and if you ult them, the drill just constantly stays on them and you do a massive a lot of damage. You could just pretty much wipe out in a whole abyss with two moves, I guess, with the ult,
Yeah.
depending which one. That's why, but
Yeah.
here's the thing, her ult is not like a normal ult from people. She does a ton of damage if you actually land it, and it doesn't just go wherever it wants to like her ult usually does. That's why if you
Yeah.
manage to use her ult and actually do all the damage with it possible, you could pretty much finish an abyss level by itself with two people. That's why I think, yeah, if you don't have a certain team with her, yeah, she can definitely suffer with her ult, just being pretty much almost useless. Or not useless, but not give a full potential out of it. I don't know, but I think she's more useful than like other people. Like, let me explain. There's like a
Not
lot
at
of
the
people.
moment, you know.
Yeah, not at the moment, I guess. We can go back to this after when we reach our character's faults. But
Yeah.
I think I agree that she's not the best, but even for a starter character, if you just switch her, the only bad part is you have to go to Inazuma and pick up all the stuff from Inazuma. Because, first of all, a lot of
Yeah.
stuff that you need, you don't even unlock at the very start. You need to finish a lot of story quests to even get.
And that could take like a month to get to.
Exactly, yeah, and even longer if you don't actually have the time to spend.
Yeah.
Yeah. In a way,
My suggestion: get an auto clicker.
yes, an
After the
autoclicker.
dialogue.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. This is probably not ridiculous, but they need to add a skip button. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just on a completely different note, but they have to add a skip note.
Like Final Fantasy VII, the remake, or for so much as I know, that you're able to skip an entire like dialogue just by like pressing options or settings and then skip, and that saves so much time.
Yeah, I agree with that. They definitely should add something like that. Some people don't even care about the quest. They do it for the sake of progressing in general, everything, and getting XP, getting all the other stuff.
And a
And they
lot
don't.
more people leave the game due to so much dialogue.
Yes, and I think we actually have a person that didn't really like it and pretty much quit because of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I agree. They should definitely add a skip button to the game. But anyway, back
So
to
where do you think
Ayaka.
Ayaka should go?
Yeah. I would put her in S tier. Not here's the thing. I definitely think she's higher than A, but not so high that I would put her to the very S tier. I think we don't have that much people right now, so we can keep her at S tier, and we can always move her down if we need to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. For
Now Barbara.
now. Okay. Baba, what do you think of
We
her?
actually have a friend who got stuck with getting Barbara after every single so basically every single like 10 wishes they'd either get like a weapon or Barbara. No other characters. And they actually C6'd Barbara before they actually got her in the game
Yeah,
for
like
free.
the story, like the
Yeah.
story character, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Anyway,
sad.
let's explain what Baba does. What's the main goal in your party?
So basically, her E is a consistent heal, and you can swap throughout any of the characters, and it will keep the heal.
Mm-hmm.
And her alt, once you use her alt, it heals everyone to full HP, and that's literally it.
Just in your party, like where you're using heals. It doesn't heal passively
Yeah,
with people who you don't have. Yeah. Okay. And
yeah,
what do you do if
and
you console her up? Like
yeah. If you get
constellation.
her to Constellation 6, which is the hardest one to get, because you need to get that person 7 times,
Yeah.
you can revive whoever died after every 15 minutes.
15. Wait, is it actually 15 minutes?
15, yeah.
15. Okay, well I didn't know about that. I thought it was 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Well, yeah. Okay.
yeah. Our friend had the he got the character, and then soon after got Chi-Chi and just like abandoned her.
And okay, okay, could you explain why she's not the best healer in the game? Let's explain that to
Well,
begin with.
okay, there are many other healers. We're gonna get to Bennett soon.
Mm-hmm.
So much time just to heal one person, and all her what are they called? Shoot, give me a second. Uh, yeah, her heal, like after you use it and it's done being used, it takes so much time just to use it again. Because you could have like a bunch of teammates who are really low HP, but then all of a sudden you can take like half an hour just to finish healing all of them. And so that's like a really big down fall for her.
Mm-hmm.
Down a, a con, that's what I want. A really big
Mm-hmm.
con for her. I
Okay.
said downfall for some reason.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I'll see something that I think I'm sure about this, but I may be not. I think if you use her E or her ability and you hit people with her just in general, her normal click, you heal the whole team a bit if you do that. I don't know if that's still in the game or not, but if you just
That's
switch
true,
to
that's true.
yeah, if you switch to the other character, you'll just heal
You
passively
heal
for
the whole
ability.
team.
Yeah.
Yeah, and after if you continue hitting with her, you heal the whole team.
Yeah. Her ult does the same thing, but being honest, her passive, like when you use her E and then you just normally hit, it heals the team by so
Right.
little, but it's being honest pointless. You're just better off killing everything and going to statue and heal. It's pretty much almost
So,
insignificant.
so
But
I would say that her ult, and when you activate the E and continue hitting with it,
mhm.
does make her better than D tier. So like
Yes,
C
I
tier,
agree
you
with
know?
that. And at the same time, most people get her in general, like at the very start when we don't have a healer. But
Yeah.
we'll probably get to later. I don't, in general, in my opinion, I don't like healers for one reason only. In my opinion, they're sometimes just a waste of a slot. Because you could have other shield people that, for example, Noelle you could wish for in a banner for a 10, and you're guaranteed a shield person. And if you use her shield, I don't remember what constellation you have to get her, she actually heals people where she has her shield on and hitting. The same as Barbara.
That's the first one.
Oh, the first constellation. There you go. Not only you can heal with
Yeah.
her if you need to, but you can also just use her shield and switch to other characters. And you don't get that idle animation when you get hit back. Like, you know what I'm talking about if you don't have a shield. You can get hit back, and it just wastes time. And you can get frozen in place and get hit back again and again. It
Yeah.
happened to me so much that I remember I quit at a certain time just because of that. Anyway,
Yeah.
I think
So
shields are superior. And there's also one more thing that Bob doesn't do. Unlike other healers, they also give us strong passive bonus with her. Like, for example, you
like
said
buff.
Bennett. What does
Bennett,
Bennett do?
like when you place Bennett's ult, you get an attack, which is actually real, like it's a really good buff. Like it boosts everything by almost 40%.
Hmm. And he heals, as we said before, with
Yeah,
his ult,
and his heal is actually really fast because you can actually heal an entire squad
by
in
just
like
switching, yeah.
10 seconds.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and here's the thing,
and
just stay in the circle and it does it for you. That's it.
yeah,
That's why I think Baba is not even... Okay, sure, she's a healer, but she's not even like a healer that gives an extra buffs like other healers do as well. Yeah, so let's...
There's no. She just heals, nothing
Yeah.
more.
So where would you put her, in your opinion?
I would say D,
D?
because she's a lot more useful than the Traveler
Yeah.
and Amber
Yeah.
and those types of characters.
I agree with that. In general, it's a good thing to have at the start, but you being honest, you get rid of her when you get any other better healer, like Bennett or...
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
so
just
at that
there.
point you just get rid of her, so she's
She's just like a starter
Fact.
person to use, yeah.
Now Beidou.
Oh, they do, okay.
Beidou, I'm gonna be honest, I've only seen one use for her, and that's her E. Because her E, you stay idle for like 3 seconds, 5 seconds, and then the more amount of times that people hit you and the more damage it's worth, you reflect like a
Percentage.
90, a certain percentage of that damage back to them. And if you max it out, that can be really good. But I've never actually seen the use of her ult, and after that she doesn't really do that much.
Well, here's the thing. In a way, I think her ult is also pretty good. Because her ult,
What does her ult do again?
I don't exactly remember, but I think it increases your normal attack later. But I know her ult gives a lot of passives that are decently good. I think it charges up the ult as well a bit quicker. But anyway, people don't use it for much for her ult, but as a counter is what our friend said. I don't know, but I don't know. I've seen her in a lot of comp. How do you call it? Abyss trials. I don't know why though. She definitely has her uses, but we don't exactly.
100% know though.
Yeah.
Again, I don't really use her.
Yeah, because we don't exactly have. Yeah, she's made for specific teams as well.
Yeah.
She's not like
Like I.
Yeah, you go on.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. So I've used her before, just to see all the hype. And then when I used her, I put a lot of good artifacts on her, and she ended up being like garbage. And remember, I didn't have a lot of characters, so I was desperate to make somebody good.
She's
But
more of
then
a support, right?
Yeah.
Or utility, yeah. It's somewhere between there. Well, okay. I think you want. I don't think she's the best as like your main DPS character, but I know she can definitely be a good utility. Yeah. I don't know. You want to put it in a C or D tier? Your choice.
C tier.
C tier.
C tier.
We can get back to her after because. Yeah, we need to definitely get back to her.
She still has her uses.
Yeah. We can check.
At least she doesn't make users.
Anyway, let's get back to the tier list.
Bennett. Bennett is S plus.
S plus. Okay, let's explain why S plus.
So now Bennett. Okay, so when you have Bennett, you just want to focus on crit energy recharge, and that's actually really easy because energy recharge is really easy to get. And now Bennett's E, if you hold it up, it does 3 strikes, and those strikes do a lot of damage, and they knock someone back. And then his ultimate, or his ult, sorry, when he uses ult, there's like a really large AoE, and when you're in it, you heal up really fast, and it gives you a massive damage boost.
Yeah, I agree with you as well. In my
and
team,
if you use him with any,
no, go on because you still didn't finish.
If you use him with any team, he does so well because he heals, and if you have a bad character, he just makes him do a lot more damage.
Yeah, I agree with that. And being honest, I don't use him, but I can straight up tell you the only reason that I don't use him because he's not meant for my team because of a certain person. But we'll get to that later. But in general, Bennett is like really how do you call him? Being honest, don't understand why they didn't even make him a 5-star. He's so good. He's literally.
Yeah.
But being honest, I highly doubt we're gonna see any characters at this magnitude just being that strong. He's not only good for healing, as you said, he's also good for just amplifying your damage by a lot. And people who usually do like
Yeah.
just like a one-shot person, Bennett is like must on the team because it amplifies the attack by so much. It's just unbelievable. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's pretty much Bennett is I think the best support in the game. I guess yeah, one of the best supports in the game, if not the best. Again, depending on your team. Okay,
And
let's
here we
get
have Chongyun.
Chungyun. Okay.
Yeah, Chongyun. What he does is his E. Uh, he inflicts like an AOE attack that's like it stays there for a while, and all your attacks inside of that area are inflicted with ice or cryo. And so that helps when you're fighting like electro opponents, because if they put up like a shield, you just use Chongyun enough to take down the shield. But when you think about it, his ult is also bad because all he does is to just like throw down ice sword or whatever,
Yeah, some
and
ice
then
sword.
nothing
Yeah.
happens. And like the only good thing about him is his E,
Yeah.
and that's still annoying to use because just like just like her E, it takes a long time to get back.
And being honest, is much better ways of using other people than using his E or just like in general. We also have to think about his AoE E that you said about the Kai one. It's not that big.
Yeah, because that that also doesn't do any damage.
Exactly. Yeah, that's one of the big things. Yeah. Does it even give you a extra passive when you're in it? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, let me check.
Yeah, because in my opinion, there's much more other people do pretty much a job much better than him. I think, being honest, the ice character that you get in the beginning of a game, I forgot his name. Uh, do you remember him?
The ice the ice character that you get in the beginning.
Yeah, in the very beginning. His idea, like the spider
Um,
guy.
oh, Kaeya.
Kaeya, yeah, Kaeya. He's, in my opinion, better. His ult not only does damage, it also applies passive Kaeya. Exactly what um
Yeah.
he does, pretty much. But not only that, his Kaeya moves with him. Compared to this one, he just puts an AoE circle, pretty much like Amber. A tiny bit bigger than Amber's ult, but it's pretty much the same thing. Anyway,
But
what?
I would just put him at F tier, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think he's good at
You
all.
get a free character that's better than him.
Agreed. Yeah. And what
Now,
about
Diluc.
Diluc, a favorite character?
Now, I have my own biased opinions on him because he was my first legendary, and I hate him so much because I got him twice, and I don't even like using him. He's garbage. He's lame. But then I see other people using him, and it's consistent at they do like 30,000 damage with his ult. And okay, I will say, in terms of ability and usage, he is an A tier. Because when you look at his abilities, it's three different sword attacks, just like Bennett, but you can use them not all at once. You can like use them at different periods of time, which is really useful. Because let's say you hit one person and they're dead. With Bennett, you just continue hitting that direction. With Diluc, you hit, and then you can switch directions, and then continue hitting, and then finish with 3 strikes. And then when you get your ultimate has such a large AoE. It's massive, and it pulls people with it. And while it's basically what he does is that he flicks a bird to people, and that bird like while it's pushing people, it consistently does pyro damage.
hmm
And so, in my opinion, I think like he's an A tier.
And here's the thing: why do most people don't like that flick? Like when it flicks people backwards.
I don't know. Like I find it really useful because you can be like cluttered by so many enemies, and you just flick them away.
Okay, well, I guess I have my own view on this as well differently. I think the flick is, in my opinion, at least annoying. Because here's the thing, I tried him once before. I got him, like, between late, like really late. I already got all the legendaries that I wanted. And I got him, so
You
like,
tried
sure.
getting him. You tried getting him after the Raiden Shogun's second rerun banner.
Yes, correct. And here's the thing. He's the only reason that I hate his flick is because usually you want to have mobs beside you so you can just do a lot of damage all at once. But what he does with his ult, he pretty much spreads everything outward. So pretty much you have to get each mob by himself or like whatever you're fighting. It's sure it's useful in some times if you wanna unclutter some people, but usually especially in abyss fights, you try to get everybody as close as possible to do the most amount of damage as possible as well. And not only
I
that,
see that.
there's a constant consistency with old characters. Old characters just usually become much, um, how do I call it?
Worse.
Yeah, just worse, or just in general shittier. It's just, yeah, it's just,
Well, it's not because of that. It's just because the new characters that come out are much better.
yes, because here's the thing, who's gonna pull for like a character who's like really bad? Like nobody's gonna pull for that. That's why we have to constantly make a bit or a teensy bit better, or just like something new or different. Diluc is just he was a really good character back then when the game just came out. I think you can agree with me
Yeah,
as
when you
well
have
on
like
that.
when you have three legendary characters, there's
Exactly. Yeah,
yeah,
he was really
but
good back
he's still
then.
good.
He's yeah,
He's still good. You just have to know how to. Not that you have to know. You just have to use him
but being honest,
consistently.
new characters just have an advantage with just in general better crit rate as a default, better abilities and default, and just the only I think redeeming quality about him is how unique his E. Because as you said, it's like a Bennett E, just you can control his E's. That's like pretty much the only
So mid
thing.
fight, you can control where you throw.
But in general, his just abilities are much lower, I think, than compared to other people. That, especially new characters, yeah. It just, I don't think he can
Oh,
compare to new characters now, except Bennett. Bennett, I think, in my opinion, is the only old champion, not champion character, that's consistently always good. Because I think they
Zhongli.
just made him broken on accident. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, we're gonna talk about Zhongli a bit later, yeah, but where do you think Diluc should go
Zhongli.
though?
Do you look? I said A tier, because like if
A
you get
tier?
him right off, you actually could get him right off the start,
True.
and he's just amazing.
Yeah,
Because
he's
I
good
remember
at the start, yeah.
I got him late game as my first legendary, and I could still use it. Like he was good, and yeah, I actually have a friend. We have a friend who got him after like I forget 50 wishes, and then just carried him the whole
Yeah.
game.
He's a good starter character for sure, yeah. And the easy part is, all the level ups you need are in Mondstadt. So, Diona. Okay, yeah.
Diona, no. Do you want to say her abilities, or do you want me to?
You can say it since we're already going in order like that.
So, Diona's abilities are her E, her regular attack, gives Wait a minute. Have I forgotten what she does?
Her
I
E's
used her
basically like
so little.
shurikens.
No, I
They,
think that's her. Yeah.
her E's are basically like shurikens. They just follow. They're like heat-seeking missiles. You pretty much can't miss them if you're close. And
Yeah.
they also
So
give her a shield and your teammates a shield, I think.
and it passively heals,
Does it? I actually
but not
didn't
a
know
lot.
about that. Okay, yeah. Well, I guess passively heals as well. Damn, I didn't know that. Okay.
Or you know.
Yeah, and her ult is pretty much a big AoE place where you heal. Does it give a bonus? I think it does give a bonus as well, or something. I don't remember.
Well, it just makes people affected by cryo, but not your attacks, like
Oh
Chong-Li.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, by Kai. Okay, yeah, that's also a thing. Pretty much a better
And you
version of
also
this guy.
heal. You heal in that.
But I think the main
But
purpose that people use it are for healing now.
no. Well, yeah.
Her
They
ult.
use it mostly for healing.
Yeah. But yeah, she's just, in my opinion, a better version of Barbara and a better version
Yeah,
of, I forgot his name,
Chungyun.
Changyan. Yeah. In a way, they just combine the abilities that were decent already, and there you go. Makes sense.
So would you say C tier?
I think, yeah, I think she's top C tier. Yeah, definitely better than her. I think. Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, because I think she gives a shield, she gives heal, she gives cryo, she gives a lot of things that in general are just decent. And here's the
Now
thing,
here's
she's a
the
4
issue.
star.
Oh yeah, yeah. She is a 4-star, and she does do a lot of good. She has a lot of good aspects.
Hmm.
But like, if you look at other characters who are also 4-stars, some of them can also do better healing.
True.
But like, you can get her a lot earlier in game,
Hmm.
and no, you can get her a lot earlier in game, and then you could still level her up, which is
But
very useful.
yeah, but she won't be like a damage dealer for you. She's not, because she also not only she's also a bow type, so it takes a long time to charge, and you're better off with other people.
Yeah.
Okay, what about Fischl?
Now, Fischl is in my opinion, almost the exact same as Barbara. But her E, so like with sorry, not Barbara. I take that back. Like Amber. Now Amber's E, you throw down like a decoy, and it just sits there, and then it attacks when it explodes. But with Fischl, you throw the decoy, and it constantly does damage,
Hmm.
which is useful, and it distracts everyone. But then you have her ult, which is the most useless ult in the game. It's the your ult is basically your E.
You become the bird, and you pretty much fly and do lightning damage to all around. And then he just appears just like a normal E, and you do normal.
Yeah, but if you think about it, you could just use your E at that point, you know.
Well, I'm here to do, I guess I'm gonna say completely the opposite thing. I think, she's supposed to be between A to B tier in utility support. And let me explain why before anything.
Yeah.
Basically, the only thing that Fischl does is pretty much she's like a battery in a way. She just helps do passive damage for you, or just to combine Electro with something else. Because not only does a bird do damage when you deploy it, it also does Electro damage. So you have constant Electro on your enemies. But the problem is, it doesn't exactly work like a decoy, since it doesn't attract the enemy's, how do you call it? The enemy's attention. They still want to attack you, not
Anime?
the bird.
They won't?
Yeah, they won't. They won't attack. Yeah. I
And
use
here's me thinking.
I usually had Fischl for like my main as for a pretty long time. And sometimes her E has like a decently big cooldown. So if you, for example, do a full circle around your team perfectly, you'll have Fischl's E off cooldown. But if you mess up a bit, or you do something wrong, your E's gonna be still off cooldown, and you pretty much fail your whole roundabout with all of your characters. So her ult
True,
is pretty
true that,
much a
like,
backup, I think. So like, okay, I miss my E's on cooldown, I can use my ult and just pretty much reset my E so I can reuse it after. I think it's like a way to reset your E if you failed. But she's no way a
the
good damage character, she's just good at applying E. Her passive. Electric.
C.
And here's the thing, technically her passive is like a little orb. If you just click normally, it does a little damage as well. I've seen people make her really strong for bow, just like not full charge hits, like just passive hitting, click, 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 like a sword pretty much. In a
Yeah.
way, I think she's definitely in utility wise A to B tier, since you get her really early off the bat, and she's a 4-star character as well. So I guess,
4-star favoritism.
I guess yeah, I have in a way favoritism of her because I got her really early off the bat, and she's been in my team for quite a while until I got a new character that we'll talk about later. You think she's D tier, and I think she's A tier. Why not put in
I
B tier
think,
to make it?
like, B tier or B tier.
Yeah, B tier. Okay, yeah. So to make it fair. Actually, wait. Yeah, behind him. You think? Behind
Yeah,
Albedo? Yeah.
because he's still much more useful than her.
Yeah. And with a Geo team, he could really shine. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, Ganyu.
Now, Ganyu is either S tier or S plus.
Okay, I agree with that.
Now, basically, what Ganyu does is okay. Basically, all bow characters have the same E. It's always a distraction, and then like either an explosion or some constant attack. And with Ganyu, hers does so much damage, and then after the explosion, it does again so much damage. And her ult, as we said before, it drops down a bunch of icicles, and that does a lot of damage as well. And her charged attack has 2 stages. It has a first stage, which just does a normal cryo-inflicted arrow, and then the second stage, you charge it up, you hit an opponent. The first hit is just normal attack, and after second hit, it's just like a AOE spread attack of cryo like icicles.
And why do
And
people?
in my opinion, I find her really useful. Yeah.
Why do people usually don't like arrow, or just like bow people in general? Do you know, or should I explain?
Yes. Because when it comes to the bow, it takes a lot of time just to use one attack. And in Genshin, a lot of people just want to be fast and quick and efficient. But when you use a bow character, it's a lot of like, you have to move around a lot, and then you have to charge for such a long time, and then this and that, and there's so many like things that you have to watch out for, which can be annoying.
Also, people don't like that pretty much the character has a chance to miss his attack depending on the accuracy of a person. For example, you
Yeah,
charge up
if
your
you,
attack,
yeah,
it takes already a decent amount of time to charge your attack. Yeah. And you could just miss it. There you go. You pretty much wasted your time there. But here's the
but then
thing.
that's
Here's the thing. With her passive, she can, as you said, she can charge up to 2 times and do like a little AoE cryo damage as well after you hit the shot. So for example, if you miss the shot, you still have a chance of hitting them, or pretty much guaranteed chance of hitting them. If you remotely close hit the arrow there, it would still do damage because of the AoE backup that you have. So it was not all in vain when you charged up your attack.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Even if you miss with her, all her other abilities literally help you with all of the AoE like issue if you have some.
Yeah.
So that's why I say like when you compare her to other bow characters, you want to get her.
And don't get me started on her crit rate on her items and general damage. She's like, I think the characters like that has average, just in general, without any artifacts or anything, the highest crit rate and crit damage just as a
Definitely.
basic character. That's why she's in general just one of the best characters because of that alone. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think she definitely is in the S plus tier because no matter what you do, you can't go wrong with her. She's always, if you can't use her as a damage, you can use her as a utility with her ult and her E. So you can't really go wrong with her. But I think she's still below Bennett because Bennett is in general good with any team. But compared to Ganyu, she's still somewhat dependent on her team. You can't have full on, like, full on Electro team with cryo. That doesn't work well. You still want to do melt damage, you want to water with freezing. You still want to have like an average team that could use the full potential of a cryo element. Compared to Bennett, just use ult, heal up, do a lot of damage, and that's it. Okay, let's go to Hutao.
Now, Hutao is S or S plus.
Go on.
Because her E, so her E allows her to just do, okay, Actually, you have the character, so I think you'd be able to explain it a lot better than I will.
I guess sure. Yeah, I can explain it. Basically, her passive. Let me first explain about her passive before I say anything else. Her passive basically makes that if you go below 50% health, you do more damage, which is weird for a character. I think that's no. There's like 2 characters now that have that, but before she was like technically the only character that technically benefited from taking damage. So you pretty much had to have her on life support to do anything, any remote decent good damage. But let's get back to her E. Her E, when you use it, it takes 30% of your health and it activates. Here's the thing, it technically takes more depending on how far you leveled up that skill specifically. And the more health you have, the more damage you do in general. It like amplifies her damage with her E, which is technically ironic since you take away her health when you do it. But basically, when you're
Yeah.
in her E state, you constantly do pyro damage when you're attacking. And I mean constant, like every hit does a pyro. And it's not like Diluc, like you have 3 hits. It's just normal attack. I think you have 10 seconds of her just plain on just doing pyro, and then her ability deactivates. First things first,
And how much damage, like, on average?
on
Do you think
average,
you can
if
do?
you just don't have her correct weapon, oh yeah, as well, you pretty much have to have a Constellation 1 and at least like Staff of Homer or just remotely close to a good weapon. A 5-star would be recommended. But if you don't, you can just use a 4-star weapon with melt. But she's really dependent on her constellation because basically her first constellation, she does you can pretty much infinitely charge up your attack and you don't take stamina out of it when you're in her E. And also one of her passives, when you hold
Dodge
click,
attack.
just like in general, when you charge up an
Just
attack,
charge the attack.
yeah, you do
Charge the
in
attack.
general a different type of animation. It does usually more damage, but you have to wait a bit. On heal, you don't even have to wait that long. It's like half a second of a cooldown, and you go through the enemy and you give a flower effect on the person. Basically, that flower effect means you do more damage when you go through that enemy again, and you gain a bit of pyro element back, like that, like for your elemental alt.
And what does her sprint animation do?
Oh yeah, her sprint animation. Or animation pretty much makes you invincible for like a second, or like when you're sprinting. You pretty much um become invincible in that certain amount of time when you're sprinting. Right? For example, in the Raiden Shogun fight, one of her abilities pretty much insta kills no matter what you have. But if you sprint in the correct time, you can survive that ability, which quote unquote you can't everybody has to die from it. Which is pretty funny since I found out that on accident. And
Okay.
what else? Her ult. Her ult, if you see Sixer, is probably the strongest ult in the game. You could pretty much one-shot any mob. Or
And
any...
why is that?
Well, basically, I don't know what to tell you. She has a really good constellation on her. Basically, I think you can level her constellation up to C6, which means you can level up her ult to... Not, yeah, her ult, like her skill ult to level 15, I think. Which makes it just do a whole lot of damage. Of course, you need Bennett and, like, Mona if you want to do much more damage than it already does, but by itself, it's already good enough if you C6 her. And what else? Oh yeah, she also heals from that ability. So basically, if you're low health, it's pretty much a getaway card. You just use it, not only you get invulnerability frames when you ult, you also heal. And depending how much enemies you hit, the more you heal. And it's also a percentage of your health that you're missing you heal. So you usually do it when you're low health, or like a really low health, like you're one shot. But either way, you don't usually use it to heal, you usually use it to do damage. And as we
And
said
so,
before,
what would you rate it?
I would definitely rate a S plus if you have the right constellations. But if you have a C0 or C1, I have a C0. I would, I don't know. I would rate it probably S tier because not, especially free to play players that can't C1 her or just in general get her. get her Staff of Homer, which also amplifies her weapon, like her damage, because the lower she is, the more
Everything.
damage she does, and so on. That's why I'd probably rate S, being honest. I wouldn't rate her S plus because you need to get, I think, a constellation rod to be remotely as OP-ish.
Everything has to be perfect.
Yes, exactly. And her ult, there's no point of making her ult do a lot of damage if you don't see Sixer because it doesn't do that much damage and you can't update it to its full potential. But here's the thing, the one thing that I do like about her E, as I said before, she does constant fire damage. So if you have an electric character, for example like Fischl, you can constantly overload enemy over and over again, which does a lot of damage. That's why I wouldn't rate her S plus, but I would rate her S because of that. I don't know. Yeah, but I think she's definitely better
Yes.
over. Yeah, okay.
Jean's abilities are so her E, you basically charge up her attack, and then after she hits like a specific character at almost any direction, at like with a gust of wind, which is really good because it does a lot of damage. And her ultimate is kind of like Bennett's ult, but it's extremely small, but doesn't give you any buffs. But it does heal you extremely
Oh no, it does
fast.
give you buffs, I think. I think it
It does.
does gives you buff.
But there's a potential buff. And also, what is it? My brain is going blank. And yeah, she's like, her sword, like, you don't actually have to have an amazing sword on her. You can use like a 4-star sword, which are like really easy to get.
And she's pretty much like a living being honest. With her E, you can pretty much fling people anywhere, including your teammates, by the way, they're small characters, which is pretty funny as
Yeah.
well. But overall, how would you think you'd rate her if you get the first time 5-star?
Rather A tier, because like she's almost the same as Diluc, like in terms of what you want to do with them. They're equals.
Yeah, I agree. I think he would be. I think she would be a bit higher than A tier because not a bit higher, sorry. Higher than Diluc in the A tier because she not only heals. I remember her passive was not as good as Bennett's, but I think it did amplify a bit of damage. But I'm not
Okay.
100% sure how much though. I think
So I would say A tier.
yeah. Okay, let's get back to the other characters.
So here's Kaeya.
Yeah, we talked about him recently when we were comparing somebody else. Do you want to remind what his ult does?
Kaeya. Okay, so in terms of E, so Kaeya is E. So basically, what it does is just like he pushes his sword forward, and like he just does ice damage in front of him. That's pretty bad, but if you want to bridge on water, it's good. And his ult is the key to him. Once you use his ult, he creates like a bunch of ice shards that constantly fly around him.
Yeah, it's like a
And that's
shield
actually
in a way.
really,
Because if it's
yeah.
the small
And
enemies, they just get hit back.
yeah, and then if you have really any water character, you can just permanently freeze them with them.
And let's not get. Here's the thing: you also get him at the very start. He's a guaranteed character you get.
He's free, and you get a weapon with him.
Exactly. I think
So
he's.
I would rate him like D tier.
Yeah, I agree with that. Here's the thing: people rate him really low. I think. Um, I think they rate him low because he's just a starter character. So I think, okay, starter character, bad, go on. He's actually, if he was a 4-star or a 5-star that you actually had to get, I think he'd be much higher on the list because lots of people who
It
think,
probably gives them buffs.
yeah, and not only that, lots of people just think starter characters are bad, but I kind of disagree with that with some characters. For example, like Kaeya. I think he's one of the champions that's just better than some characters you can get. Anyway, let's go to Keqing.
Keqing.
What did I say?
Keqing.
Yes, like Keqing. I can't say her name properly. It's fine.
So her abilities are where, okay, so you throw like a teleportation thing down, and then you can teleport to it. And after you teleport, you are inflicted with Electro, and all your attacks are Electro for like 3 seconds.
And but how long does a teleport last usually? I think 3 seconds before you have to activate.
Yeah, no, I think 4 seconds.
4 seconds? Well, yeah, but it's a decently long time to actually make up your mind if you're in a mid-fight. And it also, I think,
And
gives
then
you, like, if you don't actually fully activate it yet, you have your knife doing automatic electro damage until you activate it, which is pretty cool.
I don't know about that one.
And what does her ult do?
Maybe her ult. So basically, there's an AOE, and she teleports around the entire AOE, constantly like delivering slashes of electro damage, and slash after slash after slash, and after like 3 seconds, 4 seconds, um, the attack ends with like a massive like electro slash that does the most amount of damage there.
And here's the thing. She would be really good if not only she would have not been Electro and an old character, I think. And let me explain
So
why
you're saying that she
Electro.
would have been good if she wasn't her.
Well, if she would have been anything but Electro, I think she would have been better right now. Because we already know that Electro has a certain problem with his boosting. It's in general, Electro is not the best element to be in right now. Only if you
Yeah,
like
it's one
a
of the weakest
utility
parts.
item. That's the only possible reason I would see. But as a main damage output, you should definitely not be in Electro. Not only that,
For some
in
reason,
gen. Oh yeah?
there's only one guy that's an electro character.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we'll get into that later. But I think, being honest, she's just an old character as well. She came out when first, I think like when the game just came out. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, makes sense. Yeah, she's just in general old character, and if they buff her so much, she would just be too good. I think instead of buffing her directly, they should just fix up the Electro problem. I don't think I have to get into depth about the Electro, but you can just search up a video Electro problem with Genshin and it'll tell you a whole lot. Anyway, I think that's the reason why she's not good. But in general, if you get like at the start of a game, she's like literally the easiest person to level up because you have to go to Liyue to level her up, which you unlock pretty recently in your adventure at
Yeah.
the start of the game. But she's good at the start, really good. She's just not as good as in the Abyss, for example, but the Abyss rarely people do at that stage. We already have a 5-star characters to use at that point. So, what do you think you'd put her, A or B tier? Your choice. I'm assuming that's where you'd put it.
B tier.
B tier, higher than
Uh,
Albedo or lower?
one less than Albedo.
Okay, it makes sense, yeah. Here's the thing, I'd think I'd put her on A tier if only they just update her, not her, but Electro in
Electro.
general, yeah.
Yeah.
Klee.
Now, Klee, I want you to talk about her.
Klee, okay, I won't do an essay like last time. I'll basically explain.
Yeah.
Basically, her E is called Jumpty Dumpty, and when you use it, a little, I guess, bomb pops out, and it jumps 3 times, and then it explodes. Doing the jumping animation, it does damage, a decent amount as well. And after the third jump, it explodes and leaves little mines everywhere. Basically, if any mob touches the little mines, they explode automatically, doing damage. And I think we talked about Jean. Jean can basically pick it up with her E and just throw it all at once. But that's not really a team, that's just for fun. It's not worth doing that much since the landmines don't do a lot of damage. And her
Unless
ult,
you like throw someone up in midair and then
yeah,
snipe them.
yeah, yeah. But that's really rare situations, and mostly you fight like massive mobs that don't really, like you can't really pick them up like that. And anyway, let's get to her ult now. Her ult, basically when you use it, there's automatically little four clovers start attacking the enemy when you attack it. And it's passive. You don't really have to do anything. You attack it and it attacks. You can even switch. Actually, I'm not sure about switching characters, but I know definitely when you attack with Klee just in general, they always attack with you. And it's just in general I think it's one of the best ults since that ult, it's just in general passive damage that is pretty good. The only problem with Klee is in general her attacks you have to stay still, like with any person who's a mage, I think. I think every mage has to stand
Yeah.
still to attack, yeah. But with her
You can't move.
yeah,
Actually, there's one mage that you're allowed to move around with.
oh, I guess yeah. Okay, but yeah, but with her you usually use her hold click, which does the most amount of damage. It's like a small AoE hitbox that appears, and it does a lot of damage. But the problem with that, you have to stand like between 2 seconds. Sure, it may sound not that much, but when you're in the middle of a fight, it pretty much almost guarantees you to die if you don't have a shield or constant healing on you. That's why back then, when there was not that much mobs that were really strong, especially when you're in Mondstadt and Lee, where you could defeat everything easily with Klee. But after that, you need a support, and being honest, as other 5 stars, I would do the same thing, just better, instead of standing still. That's why I'd probably put her definitely not in the S tier, but not on the B tier, since she does a lot of damage in general by herself. Because I remember I didn't even have any good artifacts on her, and she was still spitting out 10,000 damage each time, which was pretty good. I would put her in the A tier, like higher than Jean, I think, since she does a lot of damage if you constantly hold click with her. With a shield, of course. What about you? What do you think? Do you think she has to go lower or higher?
I think that's good.
That's good? Okay. Let's go to Mona,
Yeah.
your favorite character.
What do you mean Mona? I think you mean
Not Mona,
Lisa.
oh my god. Lisa, sorry, yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, it's the
Yeah, it's
same
my
thing. They
favorite
do pretty
character.
much the same thing.
Somewhat, it's my favorite character. Just kidding.
Anyway, let's get to Lisa. What do you think of abilities?
Lisa? I'm gonna be honest, I kind of
Wait, that was really quiet. I couldn't hear you.
they're kind of garbage.
I agree with that, yeah.
Her her normal attack is just like, it's nothing. You just hold it, and it has like an AoE, and then after you hold it for enough time, that entire AoE gets struck by lightning. And then her ultimate is just the same thing, but smaller. And it consistently, like, it's like a turret.
In a way. But it also, I think, stacks up numbers. I don't exactly know what they do, but I think
I
it does
also
more damage. We can just assume that. Yeah.
Indeed. Or it could just hit more people
Yeah.
every hit.
Yeah, but it's not. Here's the thing. It's nothing that good because if it would be really good, I think a lot of people would know about it.
I wouldn't go out of my way to get it.
Yeah. And not only that, as you said, holding your E just takes too long. And here's the thing. If you get knocked back, you have to completely reset that ability, which is annoying. Yeah, I'd put her in, being honest, not even in the D tier. I'd put her somewhere in the F, yeah. But, yeah, lower than him. Because at least he can do consistent damage with his normal attack, but she can't even do that. Yeah. Hey guys, this is Advance, and I have to cut this video into separate parts because it's too much content and I wouldn't want to bore you guys. The next video will come out shortly, so be sure to subscribe and hit the notification button so you stay updated. And like if you enjoyed this type of content. Anyway, see you guys next time.